Oh, what's up, people? It is I, Don't Jar Jar.
Yeah, it's Don Jar Jar right here, and I'm your boy Lil Scopic. It's been a
We're
fat
no
minute.
longer in sync. Fuck.
Man, that's how out of tune we are, man.
Oh,
It's been
it's
so
okay.
long. We went on a little hiatus or whatnot, and we just wanted to talk about, before we talk about what we're finna talk about in this
Yep.
episode, as you clicked on the title, we're gonna talk about drunk Reddit stories.
Yep.
But we wanted to give y'all a little bit of an insight on where we've been and why we took this hiatus and what to expect from us in the future. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man, transitioning on forward. We were at a point, Jar, where we were like pumping like episodes like every 2 weeks, and
yeah.
we were pumping so much content. We were like
was a
strictly
lot.
sticking to like the horror theme, We were talking about. I think our last episode before the Christmas Reddit stories was, if I'm not mistaken, the El Paso one, the El Paso
Yes.
theater. And that was a good episode. I really enjoyed that, and we were just like so locked in. But there was definitely flaws in our system, and I caught this like many times during our episode creations and whatnot. Like while we were recording, I was like, we were just like reading off of the website. Like we weren't really like yeah, we were doing our research. We were doing like what we needed to be doing, but I feel like we could be doing more, and I feel like we could be really just like, how do I put this into words? Like we weren't squeezing the sponge as hard as we could to really get all of that like good stuff out. And I just feel like our potential wasn't truly being met with like our reality. And so I just decided, you know what? I feel like we should just take a break. Plus, a lot of things came up personally. Like our schedules got busy, especially mine's. Like I just had to lock in with other things. Music, school, work. Just life shit in general. And we just had to just take a hiatus in general. And in the time in the hiatus, me and Jar would discuss about when we were to come back, how we would present ourselves moving forward. And so a few things that I decided on moving forward with and we discussed was now doing in real life episodes. So like you'll be seeing our faces more often now. And this was truly inspired from our Christmas Reddit stories. We really took the time to study and really analyze how the algorithms work, and how to really truly engage with y'all, and how to overall just create a bond over the screens with y'all. And what better way than to actually just show ourselves to y'all, and truly at our most vulnerable state, but also entertainment wise. Like I think it's really crucial, and it's very paramount to like do so, especially with this podcast shit. Because beforehand we just had the animations on our videos, and we didn't really make we did make reels, but I don't think many really popped off, as like our Christmas Reddit stories.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always random.
Yeah, it was very random, and but also that it was just
usually.
it was just like the what's the word, man? It just felt so much more. The connection was just there when we were actually face to face with you know what I mean. And it was a lot fun more editing too. Like it was cool, man. Like from a like editing perspective, it was really cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And so that's one thing to expect from us moving forward is, yeah, man, you're gonna see us more often. Like face to face.
This is not a dead channel either.
No, I would say it was just on a hiatus. It was just dormant. I just feel like sometimes you got to put things on pause to come back stronger.
Yeah.
And this is essentially what we just decided to take in our own matters into our own hands and like come back stronger. If we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this right. We're not just gonna half-ass it.
Right.
And yeah, that's exactly the approach we're taking with this moving forward. But yeah, I mean, I will say though, like besides the podcast, a lot of like really beautiful things came about into fruition with our own creative endeavors and whatnot. Like individually, I know Jar really started popping off. Like he just literally within the past month started doing like YouTube and shit. Like tell them about like your whole YouTube shit, bro.
Yeah, well, obviously we took the break that we did, and you guys are gonna see this like eventually soon. So, well, as of right now, to us it's soon, but to y'all it's like, okay, this is pretty random, and Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it is one of those situations where, we were kind of half-assing things and we could have been better, definitely could have taken things a lot more seriously. And it feels like now that we've took that break, things are a lot more clear to us in a sense, especially because we had time to build ourselves in a way.
Right.
Like he was mentioning my YouTube, obviously a lot of you are probably gonna watch this knowing that now I do a lot of reaction videos and reaction shorts, and I'm very proud of that right now. I just hit triple digits on subscribers, which may not seem like a huge accomplishment to many, but to me it is a big victory overall.
That's growth.
Just because it's like that's huge. Just in general, the younger me is like screaming, "Damn, you actually did that! That's pretty cool." And I'm thinking, we gotta keep growing. That's one thing I always motivate us. Like, it's just gonna keep growing. And I think it'd be great if we all just grow together. And me personally, it was rough not trying to think about the podcast. I mean, with all due respect, it's like it definitely is one of those things in the back of your head where it's like, it would be fun if we were doing this right now, but
Right.
for the time being, it's like it just wasn't the right timing.
I agree.
This definitely feels like it's the best timing for this because, well, we're at the positions that we're at now, and to be fair, we have so much of a more mature mindset when it comes to developing our own product.
Yeah.
When it comes to bringing y'all content, and we don't just want to be those guys that's just, a little too bland for y'all.
There's so many podcasts out there nowadays.
Little
Like, how
too
can we
bland for
just
you
fucking
guys.
make it better than, like,
By making it better.
yeah.
And sometimes that may require time off to figure that out for yourselves. I mean, if it wasn't for this, like I was saying, if it wasn't for this hiatus in a sense, I wouldn't be on the path that I am right now with my YouTube channel. I would even say throughout my social media in general. I mean, I've had a couple videos that reached tremendous heights that I have no idea was going to reach that high, but hey, sometimes it is what it is. I would even say it helped you a lot along the way,
For sure.
your channel definitely grew. I mean, your SoundCloud is really grown.
I'd say especially like Spotify, SoundCloud. Yeah, like I really diverted my like energy because energy doesn't get created nor destroyed. So it just got diverted elsewhere for some time, and I really worked on my craft. Like making sure the presentation was up to point, and like cover arts are like a big thing. That I really took time on to learn on Photoshop. Making sure like just every little like nit thing like to pick at in mixing and mastering as well. Just experimenting, but also like learning shit. Just to apply to like the passion, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like it was just essential. It was very essential, and I'm really happy that we took the time to do that because, like you said, it helped us grow, and in helping us grow, we're able to come back with like the ability to like transition back into this with also
a
the
better
same
mindset.
Yeah, with a better mindset for sure. Yeah, and so moving forward in regards to like how often we'll drop and stuff like that, because previously we were doing like an episode every 2 weeks.
Yep.
It'll probably be less than that in regards to how often we drop. Probably like an episode a month.
Pretty much.
The reason being for that is because, as mentioned before, we were doing these episodes back to back, just kind of rushing the process because we felt obligated to drop an episode and whatnot, and we would just kind of like rush the process, quote unquote, half-ass it.
Yep.
And we weren't really taking the time to really absorb the research and like the stuff that we were actually going over, and we just kind of would go on spot sometimes,
Yeah.
And I feel like the reason we're gonna take much longer with these episodes is to really like marinate our research and just overall up the quality on what we're talking about and sharing with y'all, And yeah, it's just a big win overall. Like, why would we want to rush something? You know what I mean? And so that's just something that to expect from us in regards to how often we drop. And in regards to our content, because previously we were talking about like not horror movies, but like just like I guess just like scary stuff, you know. We definitely will keep that up because you know we're horror fans at heart. But we could also switch it up as well, you know. Like there's definitely other things we could talk about as well that we're also very
Yeah,
passionate
we've played
about.
with it before, you know.
Yeah, like the government one.
Government shutdown, Jewel.
Yeah, like stuff like that too.
We've kept things a little bit more under a certain topic, but we're willing to expand elsewheres, you know.
For sure. Definitely expect a little bit more introspection from us moving forward as well, and like being more expressive with y'all and how we are and how we go about ourselves day to day, and really just overall just want to connect with like the audience and really build a rapport with them.
I would even say like, you know, a month is still good enough to give you guys some really great clips.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I'd say if you ever are like, damn, like I really want to see more. Well, we definitely have discussed about clips being sent out and stuff. So we'll definitely get things covered on that end. So you guys won't be left out completely. You know, if you ever feel like that. Well, I was like, oh, once a month? What the fuck? Like, I don't want to wait another month just to watch this, you know?
I feel like they'll appreciate that.
We can definitely help you guys out, not making y'all bored.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah, we'll spice things up or whatever. For sure, man. For sure.
You know, because that is definitely a priority to us is y'all's entertainment. I mean, you know, this is fun for us too, but at the end of the day, we can only have fun without, like, truly trying to grow out of our shells. Well, right now, we're trying to expand ourselves so that this podcast can expand itself, you know?
Exactly. Like, we literally had to grow ourselves for the
Let's all
podcast
grow
to grow.
together.
Yeah, man.
Type beat.
Type beat, man.
Yeah, and, so that pretty much wraps damn near everything.
Yeah, in regards to, like, the whole intro, I feel like that was well covered.
It was a good intro. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. It's going to be about getting gnarlied.
While we're getting gnarly.
Well, we, as in. You know, I had a little pre-touch up, you know.
Yeah, I don't drink.
It's okay. So, yeah, y'all going to enjoy this. So, in the meantime, thank you guys for clicking onto this, and I hope you understand why. And again, we apologize, but also I hope you understand sometimes things are better the way they are, and sometimes things need to, you know, take a break. You know, I said in a song before, and it's probably a natural quote around the world. You know, instead of forcing yourself to swim, just learn to float. You know,
man.
Let the waves take over.
Go with the
you
flow.
toxic surfers. All right, but anyways, peace out. We'll catch y'all later. We're back with the Reddit stories. You know, we had to come back to it, man. It was one of our favorite things to do, and it still is. We're gonna keep going with it. We got some juicy content here for y'all.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys are ready, and yeah, are you ready?
Damn skipping.
Let's get it. So, who's gonna read story number 1?
I'll read story number 1. Alright. This is by oh no, I can't even read it. Inevitable Anxiety.
I see it.
8 years ago, edited 8 years ago. It was getting towards the end of the night, and we were en route to a strip club for reasons I still can't figure out. We were driving with the windows cracked and smoking cigarettes. At this point, I was over half a fifth of Maker's Markin, and I could feel that all too familiar feeling. I was about 10 seconds from unleashing a hot and smelly tsunami of vomit all over the backseat of this enclosed vehicle. Thinking quickly, I formed a plan in my drunken and panicked mind. Alex, it's so hot back here. Can you open my window a little more? It's happening. For some reason, I get in my head that they can't find out that I'm going to drain everything in my body onto the sidewalk. This secret must go with me to the grave. Alex, I love this song. Can you turn it up? I had never heard this song in my life, but no one was suspicious, so the plan forged on. I then unleashed a torrent of bile so violent that it rivaled the pea soup scene in The Exorcist. I finished my barf and revealed, in fact, that I had done it. No one knew, and I was free.
What?
We got out the car and proceeded to walk into the club and enjoyed an hour of watered-down drinks and painted boobs. As we're approaching the car, I hear a scream of rage and disgust. With little to no foresight, I assumed the vomit would land on the ground.
Yeah.
Despite us driving 40 miles
He
per
obviously
hour
didn't
on a
think of it.
highway, his car looked like someone hosed it down with exclusively post pizza vomit. Damn, bro. I needed an escape, so I did the only thing I could think of at the time. I was even more enraged. I couldn't believe that someone could be that disrespectful. I entertained the idea that it was probably the loud frat guys who left before
Oh
us.
my gosh.
Those assholes or bums. We just don't know. To this day, no one knows that it was me, and I regret nothing. Wow.
Savage.
That's crazy, man.
Got too drunk.
That's fucked up. But that's how it be when you're drunk. Like, you just don't be holding accountability. I mean, it's just,
You know,
it's just too embarrassing to, like,
there
accept
be
it.
situations like this all the time, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, sometimes they just do it in the car. Like they don't even ask for the window to be open or try to be slick with it. They
You're
just
telling
do
me.
it. They just do it in the car.
And they don't even know they're doing it. Bro, they're like in another world.
Like in the car, bro.
They're like in...
And you will smell it. It
Man.
will reek.
And that's if you do or don't get it on
Oh,
you.
he said pizza.
Imagine that, bro. And I bet their car was white.
Tell me why I can see it. Tell me why I can smell it.
Ugh.
Bro puked before he got here, apparently.
Damn.
Shit. Oh, my God. Yeah. What do you rate that of scale of 1 to 5?
Honestly, like a good 3.
3?
Yeah.
This is a common drunk story, to be fair.
To be fair, you know, like, yeah.
I would give it
happens.
as 3.5.
It's alright.
3.5. All right, my turn. This is from. I gotta be very careful the way I announce this. Grainel 03 from 8 years ago. Oh,
Wow.
Another old one. Damn near decade.
It's pronounced Grinnell, looking at us.
Actually. All right. So, it's my first lad's holiday ever, and I'm 17. We've gone off to Portugal for the week. Now, us being poor young kids, we saw we could save about a tenner flying out on the Thursday rather than the Friday, so we did that. Knowing full well we couldn't get into our own accommodation until the following day. We were cocky though and thought we could just stay out all night, maybe crash on the beach for fun or whatever. Anyway, skip to the night we get in and we go out on the lash getting battered. You know.
Yeah.
My mate paid for our travel insurance, so everyone owed him €6, which he kept reminding us of. At some point of the night, I flicked my cigarette and it ended up in his beer. So now I owed him €6 and a beer. Yikes.
Classic.
The night goes on and we end up around 1 a.m. going to a shop and buying some more bottles of wine to go to a beach party. Excuse me, Ma. Head on down there and 8 of the lads get in, but they won't let me and my mate in because we have glass bottles. They're all gone, so we're like, fuck it. We'll just wander around Portugal and see what's going on. We stumble around drinking out wine, walk about 3 miles away from this beach, middle of absolute nowhere, thinking about sleeping in a bus stop, but there were these mangy dogs out there. My mate started yelling at them, "Stupid dogs, this is my house, Kimosabi."
What?
And then this Dalmatian looking dog starts walking and growling towards us, so we leg it. We eventually stumble across a villa resort of sorts, so we jump the fence to the pool and find a couple of deck chairs and snuggle on down to a nice sleep. Wake up an hour later to this lovely lady putting a duvet on us, whisper "thank you" while shivering my ass off. What? That's wild. Awakened the next day feeling like an absolute shite about who do we see coming over to us. Our mates we lost at the beach 3 miles away. Turns out they ended up walking around to and slept on some deck chairs just across the pool from us. One lad comes over completely naked, explaining that in his drunken logic he thought the sprinklers might come on and he would be colder in his wet clothes than in his Jeez.
That's funny.
So we're hanging out and dying, and then one mate just says, "Do you remember what you owe me?" At this point, every one of us just yells €6 and a beer.
That's a really good
Damn,
story.
that was a fun story.
Dude, that homie that took off his clothes because he didn't want to like sleep in his wet clothing. That's some shit I low-key would think too.
Oh my gosh.
That's
How
funny.
about that random lady just pulling up out of nowhere? Being
Said
clutch
thank you, right?
In the clutch. He said thank you.
Oh, he said okay. I was
He
like,
whispered it to her.
I thought she put it over him and she was like, "Thank you." Like what? What is she thanking him for?
Damn, bro. Like,
That was a funny story.
that was a fun story.
I would low-key want to have an experience like that.
It was
Portugal.
pretty funny. By the way, you're not getting that €6 and a beer.
You probably did. Let's be real.
I wouldn't have done it. Nah, you know.
Oh, damn.
I rate that a solid. I rate that a 4.
Yeah, like honestly, like maybe even a 4.2 type shit. Like we're adding decimals to this now.
Yep. Your turn.
That.
Let's keep rolling.
Damn, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. I hope I don't though. Mid story.
Oh,
This is actually kind of a short one. I recently woke up to find I had 4 messages. Oh, wait, message? I had 4 messages. I'm sorry. I recently woke up to find I had I had messaged 4 girls I know to tell them that they were wearing really nice eye makeup that day and that they looked very pretty. I may have also started a group chat for this purpose. What?
Okay.
I feel like I should just continue with another story.
Just go with another story.
Anyways, skip it. So, this one's from a deleted account.
Yeah, I was busy.
Right. So this one says, I'm walking back from the bar with my buddy, and he decides to take a piss right next to the Cumbies parking lot.
Happens.
A cop spots him and ultimately tells him he's going to cut him a break, and I am responsible for getting him home.
Yikes.
That's a nice cop, let's be real.
It really is.
We walk back to my house, which is about half a mile away. He takes a piss in my neighbor's
Oh
front
my
yard 10
gosh.
minutes after his first piss when he is seconds away from the toilet. I hear this motherfucker again.
Oh.
I hear this motherfucker again. Same cop. Damn.
What?
Imagine.
Dude.
At that point, damn. Like, I'm trying to empathize with the cop. Like,
Fool me once.
Yeah.
Shame on you. Fool me twice.
honestly, though,
Yeah,
like,
shame on me for not putting you in the cop car to begin with. You know.
it's
Like,
illegal to
damn.
it's illegal to piss in public. But like, dog, if you gotta go, bro, like, I feel like
pee in a bottle.
honestly, like, as long as you're not flashing yourself while you're like going about your business, like, dog, like, do your
It ran
thing.
people's
I feel like
yards,
cops
so
do it too. Like, you're telling me if a cop needed to piss in public, like, and like, you know what I mean?
They
Like,
could never.
I just feel like,
They
bro,
could never. I mean, if they do, then we are definitely should have the right to do it.
like, come on, bro. Let's just go back to the caveman days, am I
Look at
right?
us. All right, we're gonna read about 3
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's go ahead and move on.
Yeah.
This is from Voski, or Vosky, however you pronounce that. Me and some friends had dressed up as Spice Girls for an event. What? We were 5, and out of those, 3 were guys. Okay. So us guys wore makeup, wig, tights, and so fitting each other of our characters. We looked like shit. Before leaving the pre-party, I get the brilliant idea to finish the last few drops in my bottle of vodka.
No biggie.
No biggie. This turned out to be more than a mouthful, and I ended up taking 4 shots right before leaving the house. Oh, been there, man.
Some slight.
Mind you, this was after a few hours of pre-partying.
Me.
Uh-oh. We hop on our bicycles and head to the club. How I got in is a mystery. That's where my memory of the night takes a break. But there are lots of photo evidence that I was indeed inside and dancing very slutty. Fast forward some hours, someone is shaking my shoulder as I am sitting outside with my head in my lap. Turns out a couple has found me sitting on my own outside and thinking I was a girl that they helped me home. They were in for a surprise when I lifted my head. Anyhow, since I couldn't say much, they sat me down on the back of the guy's bike and took me to their home where they let me sleep on the couch.
Wow.
Next day I wake up with the worst headache and they explain where I am and how I ended up there. Totally ashamed. I thank them for taking care of me and put my shoes on, thus finding my wardrobe ticket for my coat that I left at the nightclub, the club the night before. I knew I had placed it somewhere smart. So I walk home in my sporty Spice costume and wait for the club to reopen the next night. Monday morning in school, was a mix of filled holes in my memory and a lot of shame.
Damn, that sucks.
Yikes.
But I will say though, there are some good people out there, man. Like imagine if like Jeffrey Dahmer took her home or something, like.
Oh.
Or it's a guy, right?
Yikes. It's a guy.
But like they thought he was a girl though. Damn, like.
That's perfect.
That could have gone really south, but I guess I feel like that's like more of a learning lesson, you know.
Definitely a night to remember. You know, gotta learn from your mistakes.
Man.
This is one of them. I mean, you think, you know, I'll just take the rest of whatever's left, and then it turns out, oh, buddy, you just drunk a good amount of shots. Like, she drank about 4. Let me tell you something. There were times where I cleared a bottle because I was worried about, oh, I'm not going to feel anything going out. Like, legit, I remember being at my sibling's house, and I grabbed a whiskey bottle from her cabinet, and legit, I'm like, you know, I know for a fact that I can't just be sipping this and just being here all the time, you know, like, if I just go back and forth, they're going to be suspicious. And then finally, straight up, I just, like, probably the 3rd time I went to the restroom, I just downed the whole fucking bottle, and it wasn't even halfway. It was damn near full, and I chugged the whole thing. I got so wasted, I ended up, like, it was a birthday party, and birthday party means gifts, right? Well, the money and all that, I ended up stealing it. Straight up, dude. Like, it was so bad. Like, I was in such a stupid area where I was like, damn, like, I'm just trying to feel something, you know? Like, I got it, like, oh, you know, why not, you know? There'd be situations like that, and then call me a dumbass, you know? And then I say that because, you know, your situation's just, oh, I'm just trying to clear this real quick and we can head on out, you know? For me, it was more of a desperate matter. So, you know, definitely a lesson to be learned, but, you know, it's just silliness at the end of the day. Mistakes, you know? You know, there are people who feed for it, and then there are people who make mistakes about it, you know? And I think this is definitely one of those you can tell it's a mistake scenario, you know, because there definitely be people who do it a lot worse. I mean, believe me, been down that road, not proud.
Man.
But hey, you know, I'm sure you've had those kind of stories, you know?
I guess we can talk about a little bit of our personal, like, you know,
I already went
stories.
personal. Fuck, I went off script.
Hey, man, fuck it. I guess I could share one of mine too.
I went completely off script, fam. Shit.
So, like, a little bit of insight about myself. I don't really drink anymore. Like, I haven't had a drink in almost a year now. Since July 1st of 2023, I have been abstinent from alcohol. So, you know, I just haven't really been partaking in those activities. I mean, it's around me, you know, like, I'm 22, and, you know, at the age where, like, your homies be drinking buzz balls before the functions, or you know, twisted teas and beatboxes and whatnot,
or your grandparents,
you know, pre-gaming and shit. But yeah, you know, there was a time though I started drinking real young, and so a lot of experiences with that, and one that really just like really has stuck with me all this time, and honestly was one of the biggest learning lessons while being intoxicated under the influence of alcohol, man. And you were there to experience it with me, bro.
Oh no.
We were 21 at the time. I had just turned 21 a few months ago at this time, and I think you had just turned 21 like a month prior to this occurrence.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think.
And it was you, me, and another friend, and we had planned on going to this place, like like we planned on going to this place, like this
Oh boy.
We're planning on bar hopping, right? We're planning on bar hopping this road that, like, you know, it's like a street that's like just full of bars. It's like downtown area, and we were just planning on bar hopping, having a good time, seeing what happens, you know. And we even planned on going to the club afterwards and shit on the other side of town. Like, we were just gonna Uber there, right? We were gonna be responsible about it at the very least. But we decided to pregame before we even head out. I remember we had some like clear like tequila and like some Crown Black.
Yep.
And we were just mixing them already, you know? And we were like pretty deep in already. And I think we even like, yeah, man, we were just like already in, you know? Like before we even left the place, like before the Uber came, we were already feeling it,
pretty
Mr.
pre-up.
Krabs. And as the night went on, we just kept getting more drunk and drunk, you know? And the way we had structured this was our friend that was with us, that was with us at the time. he was supposed to be in charge of the Ubers. And Jar, I don't remember what you were in charge of, but I was in charge of drinks that night. And we had a plan, you know, like everyone had their part in the night, you know what I mean? We all had our own like part of the plan.
Yeah.
And so as the night went on, the plans did not go to plan, obviously. And one thing led to another. We end up at this one bar where it's almost like a club / bar. And long story short, Jar loses his wallet.
No, it got stolen.
It got stolen? Okay.
It got jacked.
Right. We were at the bar. And we were already balls deep in alcohol. I mean, we had no business being out at this point, bro.
Yeah,
we had already hit up like a few other bars. And we already had so many drinks from those bars. And we ended up, I think the lights is what like low-key attracted us to this one place.
It was sick.
It was cool, man.
It was a sick scenery.
It was funny. There was some girls and we were dancing with them and shit. But like we go to the bar, right? And our friend with us, he was like, yo, $200 shots right here of pure agave.
God,
yes. And like in my mind, I'm like, yeah, bro, yeah.
I have no idea what's going on, by the way. I'm like third wheeling at that point, and I'm just like already in my own state of mind of being damn near wasted. And the fact it just sprung upon me out of nowhere, like, hey, you need to help us pay for this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So it was like, I was just in my own world, you know, like I was literally just probably, I ain't gonna lie, probably checking out some females, you know. I ain't gonna lie, they were probably checking me out in a different way.
They was looking at your wallet, G.
But anyways, so homeboy walks up to me out of nowhere, right? And straight up, he just lays it out on me. He's like, hey, man, I need you to help us pay. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
So like, picture this.
Straight up.
Jar's right here. The homie with us is right here, and I'm like talking to like the bartender.
Yeah, he's like on the other side.
And we had already ordered other drinks, and like, you know, the way bars work is like after you get the drink, you gotta pay for it.
Yeah.
But like if you can't pay for it, they can't just undo the drink. You have to pay for it. You know, you can't just walk away. Like I don't know, like it's really weird, right? Like we were new to the bar scene, and so I just remember like my card maxed out like on spendings, which I didn't even know that could happen. You know, like what the fuck. And so I only had like maybe $100 in cash, and these drinks were like more than that. You know, we were fucking stupid.
They were crazy.
And I just remember I'm throwing cash left and right. Like I'm so drunk, and I don't even know what I'm doing. Like I'm just giving like my friend the money. Like for all I know, this motherfucker could have taken the money. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know. And then Jar's over here. I think Jar probably pulled out his wallet thinking he was gonna pay, but probably set it down to his like side or something. And someone
basically, that's basically what homie laid it out on me. He was like, you gotta help us pay for this. And I'm just like, God. Like, informed of this, and the first thing I think of naturally is like, okay, let me pull out my wallet, see what I got, right? And then next thing you know, I'm putting it down, and now they're telling me straight up like, oh, can you help us figure this out? Or homeboy said that to me. And then I'm listening into the conversation, and at this rate, I've completely forgot that I left my fucking wallet down on the counter. Next thing you know, like, apparently they got some figured out, because I think I did help. I gave y'all some cash.
Yeah, like we just barely managed to pay for these drinks.
Yeah, we managed to get it, and next thing you know, like, my wallet's gone, and I don't even think about it. I'm just thinking, oh, you know, it's probably in my pocket. I'm drunk, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely have no recollection of that situation. And then next thing you know, I figure it out later. Like, oh.
Yeah, and like this isn't even where the story gets like fucked, you know what I mean? Like it gets worse. So like we're intoxicated as hell, but we still keep going for it. We have no money left, but yeah, we still go bar hopping, and we somehow manage to get drinks at these other bars. I don't even know who's paying at this point. But like we just keep go bar hopping. And I think one bar didn't even let us in because I looked way too drunk, you know, but we still managed to get into other ones. And
I remember that.
I just remember we were like, y'all, we gotta go, you know, like I think like we looked at our friend, and he just looked gone, and like we were just walking to a place where we could chill.
Boy was good.
And call an Uber. And remember, like the friend that we were with was in charge of the Ubers. Well, he forgot about the plan, you know, he was not with us anymore, and bro just like started taking a piss in public, kind of like the Reddit story, you know. I remember that shit. And then he ends up passing out in his own piss for a second. Oh my gosh! And so I end up having to call the Uber. I'm like,
So
you know what?
basically,
Fuck it, I'll call the Uber.
He also wasted all of his money on drinks when that wasn't originally the plan.
Right, it was supposed to be for the Ubers.
Yeah.
Which, that's not what happened. And I think, like, you're freestyling over here, waiting for the Uber. Like, you were just like,
I was on my phone.
and I was like panicking.
I could low-key probably let a clip.
It was freezing out too. It was like 20 degrees.
Yeah, man.
And I was just afraid a cop was gonna see us. I think we like had some stuff on us too, And I just remember I was like, screw this. I just want to get home. I want to just I want this night to be over. Like I'm not having fun anymore. This is not fun. Fuck the club. You know what I mean? We're not going to the club. And so
Nope.
I call an Uber. I pay for the Uber, right? I'm like, screw this. I'll be the bigger person here. We get in the Uber. We're headed back, to our city or whatever. And like out of nowhere, I just like hear so I'm in the front passenger side with the driver, and Jar and our friend are in the back seat. Tell me why out of nowhere I just hear our friend like start doing like them sounds like where you're about to puke and shit, And
I know. I was right next to him.
yeah, and I mean at that point I just knew it was over. I've never been in a place where you have to like I didn't know what happens when someone pukes in an Uber that you paid for. You know what I mean?
Well, we found out.
Yeah, we found out the hard way, but that's not where the story ends, believe it or not. Because after our homie pukes in the Uber, we're basically like 5 minutes from where our final destination was at when the Uber driver decides to pull into the QT. We're like, can we please just pull over? I even bought some car fresheners for this dude, and I felt bad, I genuinely felt bad. I was like, this is fucked up, but like low-key, that was a dub for him now that I think about it. But like, I just felt bad. I was like, damn, I felt like so like this is my fault, whatever. I was drunk, and so I go into the QT, while while our friend and Jar is outside. Like Jar is just making sure that our friend is safe, because he had vomit all over himself, and he was just standing outside, and we all left outside the Uber at this point. So
I was leaning against a car, and the person in the car rolled down their window.
We were thinking, our
are you
Uber,
okay? Do you need a hospital?
Keep in mind, our Uber did not take us to the place that we told him to take us. He left us at the QT.
Straight ditched us.
So at this point, our Uber ditched us, right? I mean, I don't blame him, but like, damn, you know what I mean? And so I leave outside the QT, and out of nowhere, I see Jar like mad as fuck. I mean, bro's like screaming and angry, and like people are looking at us. Our other friend is laying on other people's cars outside with vomit all over him. Like, this is just not a good scene. And at this point, I had to sober up, bro, because I was like, this is just not good. Like, we could low-key end up like in like a serious shit because of this, with
a mugshot.
I was like, I'm not really trying to spend the night in the drunk tank, so I decided, you know what? Like, let's just call another Uber. Screw it. And we call another Uber, and I guess the Uber picked up on it real quick that our friend had like throw up on him, but he didn't see him get in the car with throw up, but he smelled it. And so now I had not one fee to pay for throw up in an Uber, but now I had 2 fees to clean up, to pay for the cleanup. So at least the Uber takes us back to the final destination, but like, dog, are you fucking kidding me? Like, the next day I wake up hungover as shit, and like, dude, keep in mind, I was in charge of drinks, right? Whatever. But now I had like on top of like $400 worth of cleaning fees to fucking pay. And I was like, this was all could have been avoided had this motherfucker that was with us fucking been in charge of his shit, So I was like, damn. So I called him out the next day, and I was like, dude, like, you owe me like $400 worth of fucking money, And I mean, you know what, dog? It is what it is. You live and you learn. And that's like the truth of it all, is you live and you learn, dog. Motherfucker never paid all that money back, so I just said, screw that shit. I learned not only to watch your alcohol, but to who you drink with, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. That's why I just stopped drinking in general.
Just be careful,
Just be careful, man. I mean, we were careful and we still fucked up. But I mean, I would say it's pretty funny to look back now, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This was over a year ago now. Like, it's funny. It's funny to us now. Like, that's
crazy.
It's funny.
All right. Well, I think we have time for one more story.
Okay.
And then that's about it. So
if that's okay with y'all.
All right. We're gonna go ahead and do one more.
Yeah.
I can read since you told the story. I'll go ahead and just read it again. All right. From not 0p, so basically not op. I went out with a couple of friends one night. After a long, shitty shift at my shitty retail job, things were great. It was actually a really awesome night. Tequila and beer was flowing, great conversations and cool people. Well, the time came for us to leave. There were 7 of us. So we stumbled out of the bar and through the parking lot towards our cars. There was, when we heard it, some knob fucker in a VW Golf GTI decided to peel out of his parking and speed out of the premises. He headed straight for us, who conveniently were lined up like dominoes, me being the last of the domino in the car's path. The douche nozzle didn't even bother slowing down. One by one, my friends barely managed to dodge the car until it was my turn. I see the car coming and decide, fuck it, I'm gonna jump over.
Damn, bro.
It didn't work that way. The car knocked me about a meter to the side and I landed on my knee and chin. My shoe flew off my feet from the impact. The fucking ass nostril didn't even stop the car, just kept going.
That's such a name.
These names, dog.
Yeah.
So there I lay, just hit by a car, whispering winded curse words to ease my pain. My friends rush over thinking I'm dying, and I'm like, yo, give me a fucking moment, please. I just got hit by a car. After a while, I look up and see a crowd surrounding me. One of my friends comes close to me, slips my shoes back on, and says, my guy, the ambulance is going to get here soon. You know, you don't have a medical aid, so you can go to the public hospital and wait 9 hours to be helped, or you can try walking it off, come to my place, and smoke this massive joint I rolled this morning. Bystanders ended up calling 3 ambulances. They asked me if I was okay, and I said, I think so, and showed them I could walk away with a limp. My knee was super swollen, chin was bleeding, but nothing broken. I limped over to my friend's car. We ended up getting high at his house, and the rest of the night, I got super lucky and was all healed up by 2 weeks later. My manager did not believe my story when I canceled my shift the next day, though. Ouch.
Damn. You think he told his like manager like literally what happened?
Literally what happened.
Wow, that's not a good play.
Yeah, I would have just said I'm sick.
Oh God.
Got
Damn.
COVID, man. Can't pull up.
Damn.
But yeah, straight up, that's a... Oh, wow, I can't even imagine, like, how that even unfolds. It just does. Like, legit, a car just... I don't know, like some angry motherfucker just deciding, like, screw these guys, you know? And then,
Yeah.
just ramming into them fools. And it's like, I don't know, you were kind of an idiot too, though, thinking you could jump over a car.
Right.
It's like, so it's kind of like, stupid is what stupid does. You know? It's like, damn, like,
Yeah.
this is a pretty stupid world, man. Not gonna lie to you about that.
No, it's crazy, dude.
It's, hey, it's a fun story, though.
Yeah,
Can
I
definitely
mean,
say
I
that.
like how there was a happy
'Cause you
ending.
didn't die.
At least bro got high at the end, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's all success at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Just like this episode was a good success. So, that's about it, everyone. I hope y'all enjoyed, and...
Wait. Before we end it, what would you rate that, though?
Oh, you're right. We should rate the story. I give it a 5.
That's my second favorite. Really?
I gave it a 5.
I think my favorite
Just
still,
because of the names.
I think my favorite still was the one where they ended
Because
up
of
like
the names.
losing each other, like at the beach,
Oh,
like 3
yeah,
miles
okay.
away.
I'd say that's my favorite because of all the names he was using to describe
Hey,
this guy.
for real,
It's
though.
fucking funny.
Yeah, I'll give that a solid 3.5/4.
5 out of 5.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. All right, my surfers. It's good to be back. We can't wait to give you guys more to give.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this is awesome to say that this is happening, and we can't wait to continue forward. So without further ado, I'm Don Jar Jar,
I'm Lil Scopic.
and we will catch you guys next time. Peace out, surfers. Let's go. We did it.